What is up, guys? I am the Senator, and today I'm going to be showing you some tips on how to properly drone in Rainbow Six Siege. Okay, so I'm going to start off this video by saying that your drone is the best utility that you have, period. Having two drones is basically like having two extra lives, and if you have a drone available, you shouldn't die. If I go into a room and die and I still have a drone available, it's not bad timing, it's not bad luck, it's not my teammates' fault, it's not the game's fault. It is 100% my fault for being lazy and not droning that out. It doesn't matter if you're in a 1v5, if you die because you didn't drone out, that is on you. Droning is something that new players really don't do, and if you're someone who doesn't use your drone, I promise, if you drone out every room before you enter, you will not die as often to things that you didn't see coming. Many people come from other first-person shooters like Call of Duty, where you just run and gun and throw away your life like it's no big deal. But when it comes to Siege, a game where you're expected to take your time, so many people will just go into a room without droning and die to a player that they didn't see because they were too lazy to take the 10 seconds to drone them out. And I guarantee you right now, if you're someone who doesn't use your drone nearly enough, you will see a huge improvement in your game if you can learn to drone correctly. And that's what I'm going to try to help you with in this video. Now, I'm going to state that I am not an amazing Siege player. I'm average. I'm not someone who goes in and drops 10 plus kills every single game because I'm not someone who particularly likes the entry frag position because I don't feel like my skill level is there, and I'm more comfortable actually just droning my teammates in. Every time I stack, I am always there to play the support role because I love droning people in. I feel like I'm better at droning my teammates in than they would be at droning me in, so I try to contribute on that front. And so I say all of this to say that if you don't have the best mechanical skills or reaction time, you are still able to contribute as long as you can properly drone in your teammates. So the first thing I want to talk about is conserving your drone. Do not use your drone in the prep phase, just leave it at spawn. So many people throw their drones away by taking the drone into sight during the prep phase only for it to get shot. You should already have a pretty good idea as to where the defenders are based simply on the meta of that particular map and what sites they have already won or lost. And of course, this is not an absolute, and there are many places to consider like hiding your drone on the map, but generally you are way better off keeping your drone at spawn and picking it up once the round starts. I've died so many times because I was stupid with my drone in the prep phase and lost it early on, and then I only could attack with one drone, and that put me at a huge disadvantage. Okay guys, pausing the video for a second to remind you to hit that like button because that actually helps me out a lot with YouTube algorithm, and while you're down there, go ahead and hit subscribe for more R6 content. Anyway, back to the video. The next thing I want to touch on is the roles that you have whenever you drone. Now, if you are solo queuing, you're going to have to drone everything out regardless of whether or not you're playing entry fragger as Ash or playing the support role as Thatcher. If I'm playing entry frag as Ash and I'm solo queuing and my teammates are not talking to me, then I won't be able to get any information from them, so I'm better off to just drone that out for myself. As an entry frag, I need to know whether or not I am good to enter the building, and if I'm with a stack, they could just drone me in, and I don't really have to drone that out. But if my teammates are brain dead and won't talk to me, I need to know if it's clear before I can move in, so I have to do all the droning myself. On the other hand, regardless of whether or not you're solo queuing or in a stack, if you are support like Thatcher or a Thermite, it is always your job to drone in the fraggers. As a Thatcher or Thermite, you are too important to die within the first minute of the round, so it's your job to drone in the Ash or Zofia. And this is the case regardless of whether or not you're solo queuing. If you are solo queuing, you can just tell your Ash or Zofia, hey, let me drone you in, and it's your job to go in and give them the callouts off your drone. And to sort of show you what that looks like, I'm going to play you a video of me solo queuing and droning out my entry fragger, Zofia. In this video, I'm playing Jackal, which is really a flex role, so I could either play support or frag if needed. But since nobody was there to drone Zofia in, I had to do it. So watch the clip and pay attention to the level of communication that goes between me and the person I'm droning out. And if you want to drone effectively, this type of communication is needed.
Drone activated.
Changing mag.
Okay, closet's clear. Master bedroom is clear. You want to check bathroom? I'm checking statue. Statue clear. Checking Astro. Astro is clear. I haven't checked the stairs yet. Check the stairs. Trophy is looking clear, but they have it barricaded off. They have the hallway barricaded off.
Okay.
Coming behind you. Do you have a claymore you can put down on the stairs?
And what do we have here?
That's Valk. Okay, so that wasn't the absolute best example. We didn't find a roamer, and I didn't give a call out that would lead to us killing an enemy, and that Zofia didn't put a claymore down before holding that angle in trophy, so he could have easily been flanked, but it was just two of us, and Ace did eventually come through master. But whenever you're droning out yourself or someone else, it should look pretty similar to that and have that level of communication. I drone out master in closet and then went into statue and told him that I had not checked bathroom yet, so it was then his decision on whether or not he wanted to drone that out for himself or just go in and face check it. It's generally better to drone. I would recommend droning, but he was confident and knew that nobody was going to push him from statue, so not a terrible call on his part. And so eventually it became evident that nobody was watching that master side of the upstairs, so he just held an angle and allowed me to come in. However, I did have to remind him to put a claymore down, which he should have done before holding that angle, but overall, not too bad. So by taking 25 to 30 seconds to drone that out, we were able to make sure that everything was clear and that we were safe to enter. Now, had we not droned out, we would have been taking a huge gamble and just hoping that nobody was in there waiting on us and hoping that we would be able to win those gunfights when they did surprise us. And when you consider that it took less than 1/6 of the round for us to make sure that entire half of the upstairs was clear, you get an understanding of how you have plenty of time to drone out. And so many people don't drone either because they're too lazy to do so, or because they have it in the back of their mind that they're wasting time by doing so. But 3 minutes is plenty of time to go in and defuse a bomb, especially when you consider, how many matches were lost because of time. It's rare that I play a match where it's still a 5v5 with a minute left. And another thing I need to mention when it comes to droning yourself in, you want to make sure that you're not taking your drone too far away and droning too much that a defender is able to rotate into the room that you've already checked, because over droning is a thing and it can happen. So a rule of thumb is to not drone out more than 2 rooms away from where you are. And I think this applies mostly for droning for yourself, and I think that when it comes to droning for someone else, you can be a little bit more flexible with that rule as long as whoever you're droning in is within a room distance of your drone. And so up to this point in the video, I've been mainly talking about droning whenever you're entering the building, but droning not only applies to entering. You need to be droning throughout the round, especially if you are pushing site. So many people will have a drone left and they'll still peek into the site just to get domed. Like, that's something that could have easily been avoided by taking 10 seconds to throw a drone in and check it out. So always drone in before you peek into site. And a quick side note, in case some of you aren't aware of this, make sure to turn on your drone settings to advanced in the settings menu. This allows you to throw your drone without automatically going onto the cams. Some people don't know about this, so yeah, you're welcome. It took me like 6 months, 7 months after playing this game to figure out that was an option. The next thing I want to talk about is pinging, and this is something that a lot of new players will do, and I want you to stop doing that right now if this applies to you. Do not ping a defender on your drone, and especially do not ping a defender on somebody else's drone. Never do that, because one, they're going to find the drone and shoot it, so you no longer have intel. And not only will you not have intel, but the defender knows that the entire attacking team knows where they are, so they have to move. So if you see a defender, it's better to just give a call out. Even if you don't know any of the call outs in this game, you can give a call out by looking at the bottom of your screen, and you're going to see a room name and a compass. So instead of pinging where a teammate's going to have to try to find that ping, you can just look at the bottom of your screen and say, okay, northeast side of Cigar Lounge, and then you can try to describe whatever that defender is standing on or what they're next to. And I think the only time that you should be pinging a defender, or really anyone for that matter, is if your teammate has the ability to wallbang them, or hit them from a nitro from below, or you can tell them that you're going to ping them so that they can pre-fire before they swing on them. But if you're droning out for your entry, just try your best to give callouts instead of pinging. I think another exception to this pinging rule may be if you have two teammates trying to, pinch the defender, because at that point, that defender has more to worry about than a drone pinging them. Next, I want to talk about flank drones. If you are with a stack and you are playing as the entry, it typically means that your support players are going to be the ones that are droning you in, so you won't spend as much time on your drone as them. So a way to put your drone to good use is to set up a flank drone so you can watch the 90s as well as stairwells, and this is something that you can try to set up in the prep phase or do once you've taken some map control. But flank drones are a must, and this doesn't just apply to, the entries putting down flank drones. If you have a second drone that you are not currently using, put it down as a flank drone so that your dead teammates are able to watch your back. Putting up a flank drone is a great way to watch your back if you didn't bring a claymore, a nomad, or a gridlock. And if you're dead, make sure to keep an eye on those drones. So instead of, getting on your phone or tabbing out into Discord whenever you die, watch those cams, because it'll give your remaining attackers some confidence knowing that they're not getting flanked, and it will literally save the round. So I'm going to conclude this video by saying that a majority of players, including myself, do not drone enough. Think of your drone as 2 extra lives and drone in before you go in. And this is something that I still struggle with, as you could probably tell from the gameplay. There are many times where I just go in without droning, and that's something that I always notice whenever I go back through footage. We should always be looking to get better, and I think getting better at droning is something that nobody ever really talks about. But anyways, I know that a lot of this was very bare bones, and a lot of the R6 veterans are going to be like, duh, this video was wasting my time. But I'd be willing to bet a lot of players still do not drone as often as they should. I think nobody is droning as much as they should be. And if you become better at droning, you will see a huge improvement in your game. So that's about it. Thank you for sticking around to the end of the video, and make sure to hit that like button because that actually helps me out a lot with YouTube algorithm. And while you're down there, go ahead and hit subscribe for more R6 content. I am the Senator, and as always, have a good one.